I'd just taken the tea up, and she said, "Graham, I think the world of you." I said, "I think the world of you too. What's brought this on?" She said, "Nothing. This tea looks strong. Pull the curtains." Of course, I knew what had brought it on. She said, "I wouldn't like you to think you're not number one." I said, "Well, you're number one with me. Give me your teeth, I'll swill them." What it was, we had a bit of excitement yesterday. We bumped into a bit of mother's past. I said, "I didn't know you had any past. I thought I was your past." She said, "You?" I said, "Well, we go back a long way. How does he fit in vis-a-vis Dad?" She said, "Oh, he was pre-Dad." I said, "Pre-Dad? I'm surprised you remember him. You never remember to switch your blanket off." She said, "This is different. His name's Turnbull." I said, "Yes, I know." I parked to buy the war memorial while I went and got some reading material. Then I waited while she went and spent a penny in the disabled toilet. She's not disabled. She just likes to use their toilets. She says you get more elbow room. She takes forever, diddling her hands and whatnot. When she comes out, turns out she's been talking to the attendant. I said, "What about?" She said, "Hanging. She was in favour of stiffer penalties for minor offences." I wish you'd been there, love. You could have given her chapter and verse. Where are we going for tea? The thing about Mam is, although she's not had what you'd call a proper education, she's picked up enough from me to be able to hold her own in discussions about up-to-the-minute issues like the colour problem and the environment. And for a woman of her age and background, she's got a remarkably liberal slant. She'll pick up my guardian and actually think for herself. They go mad round about there, so when we're crossing over the road, I generally take her arm. Only once we're over, she postpones letting go, because once upon a time we were accosted by one of these questionnaire women who reckon to take us for husband and wife. I mean, Mum's got white hair. She was pulling this stunt and I didn't really wrench my arm. I said, "Let go, Mother," and next thing I know she's on the pavement. I said, "Oh my God, Mother." People gather round and I start to pick up her shopping. She said, "I've laddered both my stockings." I said, "Never mind about your stockings. What about your pelvis?" She said, "It's these bifocals. They tell you not to look down." I was trying to avoid some sick. Just then, someone says, "That's a familiar voice." I look round and there's this chap standing there. Shorty raincoat, trilby hat. "Hello," he says. "Remember me?" Well, she doesn't remember people. I know that for a fact, because she swore me down blind she'd never met Joy Buckle, who teaches felt and fabrics at my day centre. I said, "You have met Joy. You knitted her a tea cosy." That's all she can knit. Tea cosies and bed socks. Both outmoded items. I said to her, "Branch out. If you can knit a tea cosy, you can knit a skiing hat." And she says, yes, I will. Only I have to stand over her, or else she still leaves a hole for the spout. And that's how she is. I said, "You have met Joy. You said she had some shocking eyebrows." She said, "I hope you didn't tell her that." And that's Mam. She won't remember people. I turned and said, "No, she won't remember you. Now come on, Mum, let's get you up." We're on piles. Only she says, "Remember you?" "Of course I do. It's Frank Turnbull. Must be nearly 50 years. He says, 54. Filey, 1938. And she says, "Seacrest." And he says, "No sand in the bedrooms." And they both burst out laughing. Meanwhile, she's still on the floor. And I said, "Come on, Mum, let's get you up." And he butts in again. "With respect," he says, "it's advisable not to move a person until it's been advised whether or not there are any broken bones. I should know. I was in the St John's Ambulance Brigade." "Aye," says Mum. "And who did you practice your bandaging on?" More laughter. Eventually, I get her up. Only his lordship's no help. Claims to have a bad back. He had these yellow gloves on. Could have been a bookie or something. When he's up, she introduces him. "This is Frank Turnbull, friend of mine from the old days." What old days? First time I knew there were any old days. Turns out he's a gents outfitter with an outlet in Morecambe and something in Bradford. I thought, well, that explains the yellow gloves. Turns out he's often over this way. He turned to her and says, "Now, Vera, what you need is a cup of coffee." Vera. Her name's not Vera. She's never been called Vera. Me dad never called her Vera, except just the once, as we wheeled him into the theatre. Vera. He takes charge and says, "I know just the place to go to." And he puts his arm through hers. "Careful," she says. "You make my boyfriend jealous." I didn't say anything. Now, the place we patronise is just that bit different. There's no cloths on the table. The menu comes on the slate. The waitresses wear their own clothes and look as though they're doing it just for the fun of it. Stuff's all homemade. And we're big fans of the date and walnut bread. We come to it and I say, "Here we are, this is the place." And he says, No, I know a new place, just opened. Press on." Now, there was one thing that Mother and I are agreed on. It's that red is a common colour. And the whole place is done out in red. Tablecloths red, lampshades red, menu holders red, waitresses in red. And when I look, there's one of these giant things, sauce holders, got up to look like a huge tomato, also red. And when I look again, there's a chip in the sugar. Oh, I thought, Mother won't like this. "This is nice," Mother says. "This is something different, isn't it, Graham?" And I said, "There's a chip in the sugar." A detail," he says. "Now, is it 3 coffees?" I said, "Well, we generally have tea." "No," said Mother, "I feel like being different. I'll have coffee. I like new adventures in eating, don't I, Graham?" I didn't say anything. He looks at the menu, closes it, puts it down and puts his hand on hers. "And might I suggest," he says, "a cheeseburger." "Oh," says Mother, "what's that?" "It's fresh country beef, mingled with golden fried onions, covered in melted cheese and served in a bun with French fries and a lemon wedge." "Oh," she says, "a lemon wedge." I thought, well, I hope you can keep it down, you. It'll be the pizza experiment all over again. One mouthful, and at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm still by her bed with a bucket. She says, "I like new adventures in eating. I had a pizza once, didn't I, Graham?" I didn't say anything. The food comes, and she's wiring in. She looks up and says, "Would I be right in thinking that red thing contains sauce?" "You would," he says. "Give us a squirt," she says, and they both laugh. The drinks come. "Careful, Graham," he says. "Glass cups. We'll be able to see up your nose." More laughter. "Oh, Graham's quite refined," says Mother. "He often has a dry sherry." "Well, he wants to smarten up a bit," says Mr. Turnbull. "Going around plastic mac and sandals. He wants to get one of them quilted jobs. I've shifted a lot of those." "Oh, we can't wear those," says Mother. "Why not? Is he allergic?" No, he sweats a lot." "There's no excuse for that in this day and age," she says. "Range of preparations there are on the market. Honestly, the whole place could hear. And if I was squiring a young lady like that," he says to me, "I wouldn't do it in grey socks and sandals. I'd have some nice shoes on. These shoes are Italian leather. Just feel that." "I often think Graham would have made a good parson," said Mother. "Only he doesn't believe in God." "That's no reason not to be a parson," he says, "in this day and age. What do you do?" "He's between jobs," said Mother. "He used to do flowers and felting fabric. Now he's doing soft toys for children." I excused myself and went to the toilet. When I come back, he says, "In my view, there's no excuse for mental illness. Hard physical labour, that's what they want. It's like these girls not eating. If they had what we had in the war, nothing, they'd eat, wouldn't they, Vera?" "Oh, yes, said Mother. Yes. "Did you marry?" "Yes, twice," he said. I married my wife last month. I was heartbroken, but life has to go on. I've 2 children and a grandson at the motorbike stage." "Do you drive?" No, I said. "Yes, you do," Mother said. "You've got that moped." "Well, it's not really a moped, it's..." "Oh, I can never get him to blow his own trumpet," says Mother. "I got a Rover 2000, he says. Drives like a dream. Turns out he's often round this area, looking for fresh supplies for his outfitters. He promises to pop in again when he's in the area. As we're going, he says, "You look after yourself, Graham, and you look after your mother. She's a grand lady." "Oh, he does," Mother said. "He does. He's my boyfriend, aren't you?" I didn't say anything.